for listening to or watching the Upland Down Under podcast. And our show is recording live on Thursday, the 18th of April at 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I've had all sorts of audio issues yet again, so apologies in advance if this just sounds like absolute dog poo on the back end. Anyhow, on tonight's show, we'll catch up on the Upland market floors, check in on the neighbourhood ratings for April. We've got the Sparklet Airdrop campaign, Blossom Season Pass drop number 3, the Genesis Design Challenge. Upland clarifies that there will be no NFT royalties back pay. Yowzers. More Genesis Live prize reveals, the surprise Airdrop Properties Collection launch, Blossom Map Assets exclusive sale, and the Legacy Bundle sales announcement to all be reviewed and reflected on. A lot to go through tonight. The main topic for tonight's show is Upland announces loads more free Sparklet to be dropped at Genesis Week. That's great news for participants, but what are going to be the effects of all this free Sparklet that's getting dished out here, there and everywhere? We've got a couple of quips to dive into. The first is about factory and showroom pairings, and the other is about Midtown Terrace and the potential for a new node push. And of course, we'll take a look at another Upland community member spotlight, care of the Dynamic Node Builders team, and we'll give away 35,000 UPX and a Samurai Aquatics map asset. But that's not all. Swali's going to remind you how you can get an entry in for another huge celebratory campaign that will be run and won on next week's show. All that and more on this, the Upland Down Under podcast. Now, speaking of all that and more, if I can press the share button, here we go. So, for the next 3 weeks of the UDU podcast is going to be brought to you again by an awesome supporter of the show, Kushal089, and his map asset metaventure called Rustic Arts, which is situated at 7754 Jellico Avenue in LA. Step into Rustic Arts, your haven for map assets where each piece is curated with passion, weaving a personal touch into the virtual realm. Jump on over to 7754 Jellico Avenue in LA and uncover the artistry that transforms spaces. Your journey begins there, where maps and memories intertwine in a uniquely personal Metaverse showcase. Later in tonight's show, I'll be outlining the details for how you can go into the running to win one of 10, that's right, 10 very awesome looking rustic wells that we'll be giving away over the next 2 weeks. Once again, that's Rustic Arts map assets, which you can visit at 7754 Jellico Avenue in Los Angeles. And jump on over to X, Twitter, and give Kushal089 a follow at Mr. Kushal089. There's a link in the description so you can stay up to speed with everything happening at Rustic Arts. If you're wondering how you can take part in the live recordings of this podcast, I'll drop the link to the live podcast in the NBA server Thursday nights at about 6:45 p.m. AEST. Let's get into the breaking badly news and take a look at what's currently happening in the Upland market floor stats. Hopefully it's not as dire as what's been happening in the old crypto stats. Apologies for everybody that looked at the crypto market card in the last podcast I did. Somehow it all got ballsed up in my mad rush to get that done at 4:30 a.m. Usually do that in the PM. Anyhow, what's happening in Upland? 90-day averages, flat on the transaction volume, a little bit of a bump on the 90-day trading volume. Not much worth mentioning there. Unique active wallets, interestingly enough, back over 60,000, up 3.1% from last week, and total unminted properties just over 280,000, so about 3,000 minted through the week. City stats, floor markups still mostly in the 30 to 50% range. We're going to speak on that later. What do we got? Detroit 31%, London 31%, Nashville 31%, Queens 31%, Sao Paulo 31%, Rutherford and LaSalle, the only ones over 100%. Other ones doing pretty well. Stockton 79%. Trenton 66%, San Francisco, interestingly enough, 63%, and everywhere else a bit here, there, and everywhere. City stats themselves, your best option at the moment to buy for UPX and sell for USD is Stockton. Buy for $4,399, sell for $3. Other semi-decent options is Trenton. Buy for $4,400, sell for $3, and Detroit buy for just under $5,000, sell for $3. Worst bets currently is LaSalle. That one's seems to be either the best one or the worst one. It flops backwards and forwards, and currently also Miami and Oakland kind of the gap they're stretching out. Miami you buy for $18,333 and only selling for $5.40. What have we got? We got any big jumps? Bermuda down, no surprises there, I guess. Down 19% on the UPX, was 210,000 last week, down 170,000 UPX, down 26.6% on the USD, was just under $80 last week, now under 60. Buenos Aires, big boost there on the UPX, was 8,500 last week, just under 10,000 this week. Dallas getting pumped on the USD, was $5 last week, just under 6 this week. LaSalle, we mentioned that one. Manhattan up on the UPX, was 71,000 last week, back over 80,000 this week, but conversely down on USD, was $28 this last week, now under $27. Oakland, we already mentioned that one. Look at this, Rio, Rutherford, San Francisco, up 18.5%, 15% and 14.5% respectively. What's San Francisco doing? I've been out of the buy for you UPX and sell for USD game for a couple of weeks. I'm trying to save up some UPX for the next city release. Was just under 20,000 UPX last week, up now just under 23, and USD still under $8. Interesting. Sao Paulo, 5,500 last week, 7,500 this week. All over the place, a bit here, there, and everywhere. All right, we'll move straight on over to the neighbourhood ratings, and hallelujah, 3 weeks in, and Upland has finally removed Midtown Terrace from the front. Congratulations, everybody involved in Midtown Terrace. If you got the 3 set there, that collection now is available to get set up. And what do we got? Bakersfield still out in front, 13.239, and Greenwich Village pretty close behind, 13.221. Still plenty of time left. Praia de Bandera, 13.15. That's quite a significant gap. See how they go. All right, I'm going to jump out of there and we'll just catch up on a few things, eh? So, how's everybody going with the Sparklet airdrop campaign? How's your level? How's your percentage? How you going with it all?
I can't get past 4 reposts, even know how many times I repost and do all that.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky. Oh, sorry, Billman, I just noticed you in there. It's a bit tricky, isn't it? It's like, because there's such a lag between when you do something and when it comes through, it can be a bit strange. And then, has anybody else been... I was doing some follow chains this morning, and then suddenly I got a message saying, "Oh, you're doing suspicious stuff. You've been locked out of liking and following and commenting for the next 3 days." I'm like, "Oh, that's freaking awesome time."
Did this? I heard it from
you. Yeah, what a pain in the butt, eh? So yes, a bit of a pain. Anyhow, let's have a look. How about you, Swally? You're very quiet. How are you going with it all?
Yeah, I've done all the posts. I'm just managed to tick over level 1, so nothing exciting. I'm not going to get very far with only a 3x or 4x, whatever I've got.
Yeah, I'm currently on a 7x, which is weird because when I had that 7x, I was under 3,000 followers, and now I'm well over that, 3,200 and something, but my multiplier didn't change. I did manage to level up to level 2. I don't think I'll be able to get to level 3, but of course it just depends how many other things they're going to be doing. It seems pretty sporadic when they do it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's one of the ways they're going to play around with how much Sparklet they're going to dish out, is that's kind of a good roadblock that you can't earn points if they don't put stuff up to earn points from.
Yeah, I said it last week, and I guess it's probably too hard for them to program, but it'd be nice if you posted stuff or you had your own engagement that ended up. So if you post something and got a couple of 100 likes and follows or whatever from it, like if that counted, that would be good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not too stressed about it. Like, I'm not going to get much.
I'm sure they did mention that. Well, when I put the script together for that video that I put out about it from that meeting that I had, I'm sure they mentioned that. that you could do something and it was going to be picked up and made part of the campaign? Maybe it's too early days or something.
I don't know. Well, about one post I've got that's got well over 100 likes, and
Yeah.
I haven't changed anything.
They just wrote you have to be active. So no further infos.
Yes, and we'll get on to that kind of angle a bit later as well. So we did have the Blossom drop number 3 come through. If you didn't catch Elslack's rant about drop number 2, make sure you get on over and check that out. I did eventually get over and check that one out, and it was a doozy. So what do we got this week? Week 3 drops. Okay, hang on. What is that?
The background.
What's that? A faded rainbow background. All right, cool. That's one. Yes. A mechanical. Oh, that's kind of cool. An animated clock thing. What's that got to do with blossoms again? I get it's the steampunk thing, but blossoms. Okay. And then raining coins. All right. Well, at least you got 3 for week 3.
Yeah. No, but all these add-ons or fading backgrounds, they are nice, but you can't zoom into your BE to get them visible enough to be proud of it. And there is so much other stuff, all these badges and the collection coins with the numbers and all this stuff, so you don't see this new stuff good enough. But hey, soon, eventually, further in time, we will get the chance to show badges or not, maybe.
That should be a drinking game. Every time Buellerman says that, you gotta take a shot. Doesn't matter what time it is.
Don't do it.
Yes. You be DAF before you know it. Drunk as you know what. Yes. So, yeah, drops. I mean, again, where's the blossomy angle of it? Has there been any explanation of the whole steampunk vibe? I haven't seen nothing. Other than it's something else to sell.
Maybe we will see it if they release the city, which was announced for the Blossom season. Maybe there is some connection. It couldn't be
and it will all make sense.
Like this. I don't know. Someone mentioned it could be Paris, and because of this, is it Zeppelin in English too?
Shakhtar. Yeah, she mentioned that.
Airships, but Paris, I don't think they will launch. If they launch Paris, they do it with Genesis Week. I don't think they will launch it.
I'm with you on that. I don't think
because
it'll be Paris.
Genesis Design Challenge. This looks like a French artist.
Yes, it's another perhaps piece of the puzzle. Pretty massive prizes in this one. Announcing the Genesis 2024 Design Challenge in Upland. There's been plenty of these in the past. This one's interesting in that the winner of this is going to be able to make a whole series of things, which is pretty cool. For the contest, we invite you to design 2 new structure models. Here's the exciting part. The winning design selected by the Upland team will unlock a great opportunity. The victorious designer will be tasked with creating 3 additional models. So you've got to create 5 in the same theme, ultimately designing a neighbourhood that exclusively features these distinct models. So that kind of whole angle is pretty cool. I do know I have been keeping up to date as much as I can in the UGC channel that there's a lot of backwards and forwards about, there's not enough information. We need clearer guidelines. Apparently that's all been worked on and being clarified. Well, you got to do that stuff. You got to do that stuff before you put these announcements out. I know DTech and others are chomping at the bit to forego their sleep and just dive into this, but there's no real point even getting started because they haven't been given all of the necessary information to do so. So, I don't know. Bit weird. Anyhow. Where were the prizes? Yes. Detailed submissions. So the submissions open May. Well, I suppose it hasn't opened yet. So that's one thing. And they don't have very long to do it. Holy moly, that'll disappear really quick. Opens May 1st, disappears May 21st. Winner's going to be announced live in Las Vegas. That's pretty cool. and then the winner will have 8 additional weeks to submit all of their other designs. The winning designer will receive 5 free properties in the newly crafted neighbourhood, so you can put up all of your designs, you would hope, and 5 Spark to fuel your creations. That is just a massive prize. 5 Spark, holy moly. Absolutely ginormous. Was that a big enough carrot to get you interested in doing some stuff, Lo?
Actually, yes. But I haven't even thought about it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's massive. 5 Spark, holy. So yeah, now's the time to start brainstorming and sketching your visionary designs. It's kind of hard because there's no real guidelines and what they're looking for. I mean, they did mention the interesting Bermuda properties as other structure ornaments as a bit of a hint at what they might be looking for, but basically it's just open-ended. Do whatever you want in some kind of theme and have at it. So it's going to be very interesting to see. You would assume that Upland has already got the area, the neighbourhood planned in wherever it's going to be. Yeah, very interesting how that's all going to play out. If you are taking part, good luck to you, because that is one hell of a prize, and it's a lot of work, a hell of a lot of work. Now, speaking of the poor old UGC, I mentioned this in the BlockWeb podcast through the week. We did get some information, some clarification that there will in fact be no back-paid NFT royalties, which is a bit of a kick in the guts to myself and many other people involved in the UGC content creator space. I'll just go back over the blurb I put together for that in the other podcast, in case you missed it. So on March 22nd, 2023, after a couple of years' worth of questions being asked about it, that was as part of the outdoor decor beta back in the day, Upland announced and introduced its concept for NFT royalty system designed to enable user-generated content creators to earn UpX from secondary market sales as a passive income stream. So for every 5% transaction fee for any sales of any of the assets you created, the person who has them in their factory was going to be allocated 50% of that, so 2.5%. This development was seen at the time as a major boost for digital designers, of course, who can now monetize their creations more effectively and secure their intellectual property within the digital realm of Upland. However, as I said, this excitement has been tempered by the recent clarifications that, in fact, royalties will not be backpaid for previous sales and will only be applied to sales post-implementation of this system. As I said, this revelation caused a bit of a stir amongst several UGC creators, myself included, who had anticipated, based on some of the language in not only just that announcement that came out, but also I seem to recall it being mentioned specifically that back pay was going to be a feature. I think that was in the old Outdoor Decor channel. That has since been closed down, so I can't go and check. We'd been talking about that for years. It's kind of a weird situation where it was mentioned almost immediately that was not going to be the case, yet myself and several others were assuming that it was going to be. Anyhow, so we do know now that it's not going to be the case. There is going to be no back pay, and there's no defined timeline for when the royalty system is going to start, which just further complicates matters. So all the bits of everyone's kind of stuck in a bit of a no man's land period with that sort of stuff. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I can share, because I mean, you read some of the language in the announcement they put up about it, and it certainly sounds like they were going to do back pay. So this year, March 22nd, 2023, so over a year ago, cha-ching, introducing creator royalties for Upland's UGC. Well, introducing the concept, not introducing them. Yada, yada, yada. We mentioned all that. Upland is proud to bring much-deserved royalties to the Metaverse. Royalties on NFT assets are one of the cornerstones of creating NFTs. That's widespread all through the NFT community. So these creator royalties are just the beginning, as additional royalty pathways are in the works. Are they? Well, apparently not even the original royalties are in the works, or they've definitely been put on the whiteboard to gather dust. So details, yes. Creator royalties will apply to UGC structure ornaments and outdoor decor sold in metaventure showrooms on the secondary market. So yeah, this is kind of some of the contentious part. So it does say in here, when royalties roll out, they will be distributed to creators on a monthly basis. Okay, so that would assume that not going to happen until it actually rolls out. But then, in the very next sentence, it says, any manufactured UGC structure ornaments and outdoor decor, past, present, and future, generate these royalties. So, and royalties apply to transactions over an asset's lifetime. Well, no, they don't. They only apply to an asset post this system actually coming through. Again, time frame for that, who the bloody hell knows? So, the beginning of something beautiful, yes, another year, or probably with everything else they got going on with Sparklet and Genesis Week, it's probably going to be at least 18 months, probably more than 2 years before it even comes through. So, yeah, as I said, a bit of a kick in the guts, this one. I don't know if you wanted to speak on this at all, Lily?
It's disappointing, to say the least. That's...
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, as I said, it was assumed by myself and several others that back pay was going to be a thing based on some of the stuff we had been told before. And as I said, I'm sure it was mentioned specifically. Maybe that was an error at the time. I don't know. But if you listen on the Spotify, we're looking at Mike3226, who recently asked in the Upland UGC channel. I apologise if this has been answered already. I don't tend to check this thread very often, but about a year ago, it was announced that UG creators would receive royalties. I've never received any of these and was wondering if that is a delay in implementation. Are these royalties going to be paid out from last year? Squall Muzza quickly replied and said there's a delay in the implementation, and basically there was a lot of back and forwards, but at first he said, so I'm not sure if there's going to be back paid, and Desjack replied, she thinks they will be back paid. I certainly thought so. And then there was a whole debate about, the original post. Does it say this? Does it say that? I think, I got tagged in it as well. I think Shackdon chimed in at some stage, Manimoto as well. And then I went for a deep dive. I did as much searching as I could. Of course, as I said, I don't have access to the old Outdoor Decor channel, so I couldn't check that. I did check my DMs with a couple of the people who were involved in the earlier days of the Outdoor Decor system. I couldn't find anything in there. All I found was a post by Lisette saying, like, the day after that announcement was made, that she said they will not be retroactive. So, yeah. So apparently Upland at least was aware that it wasn't going to be retroactive from the start, but I'm sure this has been talked about on and off for pretty much the entire year. So, yeah, as I said, bit of a kick in the guts, that particular one. Anyhow, rant over. Now, we'll move on to something a bit more positive. If you happen to be attending the Genesis Week, of course, that is. If you're not, like, I won't be because it's just too far away, which is funny because I always get the invitation every year. Hey, congratulations, you've been invited to the special chief executive bloody thingo, you get free this and free that. And that this year it came through as a in-chat message from the man himself, Idan. So, yeah, unfortunately, no, free is not exactly free, but pretty good if you can attend. So, Genesis live agenda, some extra details that came through. Bring a friend to win big as we count down the days to Genesis Week Live, blah, 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 blah. There's a bit of a agenda here, lots to do. Starts on Thursday in the evening. runs through the week, blah, 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 blah. Heaps to do there. So that was kind of cool. Now, special prize announcements. Our biggest giveaway yet at this Genesis live event in Las Vegas. They're raising the stakes with the most unique and exclusive ways to win Spark and other prizes Upland has ever offered. Get ready to be part of history with our incredible kickoff giveaway. Yep. London High Tea ultra rare property. Simply by being there, every attendee will be automatically entered to win this exquisite property. So there's one of those available. Bit like, I think it was it Cafe Morgador that won the first totem, the gold llama totem. It can happen. You can be lucky if you're there. So pretty good if you get that one. And then we've got a Bring an Upland Friend giveaway starting today when this announcement went. Enhance your Genesis live experience in LV by inviting a friend. If your friend also purchases a ticket, attends the event, and enters your Upland username in their referral box at checkout, you will be entered to win a second different high tea ultra rare property. So this is like almost inspiring in real life multi-accounting. That's kind of hilarious. So you get two dibs at one of those special properties, high tea, but you need 3 of them for the collection. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out on the back end. Okay, so that wasn't the only
for $85 to get this property, because in real there just get someone referred.
Yeah, you never know. Stranger things have happened. Who knows? Some people do all sorts of stuff, but yeah, pretty big prize if you do happen to win it. So yes, there's a lot going on with Genesis Week. Now, that's not all that's happened through the week. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Swally, you might be best to speak to this, seeing as though you were around. So I got a few DMs at the early AM saying, hey, there's some properties here for you to go and mint. What was it, 11:30 PM our time?
I'm sorry, I missed. What minting are you talking
That's
about?
right. The Airdrop collections. Oh, I'm not on share screen. That's probably the reason why. You don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just running my mouth off.
Oh, yeah, I woke
I
up.
don't want to do.
I woke up to 5 offers on a property nothing property I had in Las Vegas, and I went, hello, what's going on here? Of course, those offers are all well under what they were worth, I guess, after learning about these airdrop collection thingies. Cool little bit of fun. I don't mind this sort of thing. Some people woke up to, I had 3 or 4 air properties, so I need to pick up 1 or 2 more. I don't mind this sort of stuff. Bit of fun. I sold a 10,000 Upex property for 100,000 as a result of this, so that's a win for me. Because it had the word drop in it somewhere. So yeah, it was a bit of fun. So, but of course,
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean,
as I say, all the deals were long gone by the time we wake up. I saw someone in Queens. Someone in Queens minted something like 11 in one street or something.
Just a flip, probably. Yeah. Well, good on them. If you're there and you can do it, why not?
Yeah.
So yes, 1 limited and 2 rare collections. You have to hold the standard period, of course, to be able to claim them. Enter to win a Bermuda property. The stakes are high, as each completed collection grants you 1 entry into the drawing for a special Bermuda property. If you get all 3, you get 3 chances, of course. Remember that you have to maintain ownership of the properties for the draw. Now, there's been a lot of backwards and forwards about the temporary nature of these. Did that ever get clarified? Is this something, are these collections going to go away, or is only temporary in that?
Right at the bottom, it says it's only temporary.
Remember, you must maintain your ownership. This is your chance to boost your Upland journey. Interesting. I wonder if it's in the, or maybe Lily, do you know if that's been clarified, the temporary nature of those?
Yeah, it's temporary.
How weird.
At the bottom of the original article, it said that it's only a temporary thing. I remember reading it, and then I saw G's post that, so people, I think, are going a bit crazy not realizing, I think. because there's no way even a red property is worth 10x its mint price.
Yeah, and then if it's only going to be temporary, I'm just rereading Squire Muzz's announcement in Discord as well. It doesn't say temporary there.
King
I
Cody's
wonder if that
15th of
Oh,
May.
what's this?
So, I mean, I bought one air because I already
there's
had
these
4.
temporary collections will be available until May 15th.
Sorry, Lily, what were you saying?
I said I bought one air because I already had 4, but I
Yep.
didn't really overpay for it. It was 130%. But I was awake when the thing dropped, so.
Lucky. Yes, ensure your collections are completed by Wednesday the 24th. I mean, it seems weird. You'd think it'd... Yeah, I mean, people have FOMO'd into that to buy on the secondary to fill those rares, and if it's only going to be around for a while, it seems...
Yeah, there's it.
Kinda
These
kooky.
temporary collections. There's the sentence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these temporary collections will be available, but available to initiate?
Yeah, this will be interesting because there were some. The Miami collection got the wrong multiplayer at start too, if I remember right, and some people activated with the wrong multiplayer, and if you don't touch the collections, they will just reward you with the multiplayer you activated it. I didn't get enough into the blockchain for this topic to verify or to not verify if it's something that's somewhere on the chain saved. Because
it'd be very strange. I'd understand if you have until this date to set the collection, and if you happen to break the collection after that, well, you can't reset it or whatever, or something like that. That would make sense to me. But to have the collection and then suddenly it just disappears, that seems very strange.
But they've done that before, have
I
they
don't know.
not? The Central and the Eastern and Western or something like that? That's before my time, but...
Yeah, you might be right, yeah.
Didn't they do that?
But then
with
we've got the other ones.
Well, I thought they were
Yeah,
going to
that...
be as well, and they turned out not to be. Well, so far not
Yeah.
to be.
Didn't we have
Yeah, maybe
one
there is
or
precedent.
two?
Yeah, but they weren't like rares though, surely. I don't remember them being that
No.
coveted. Maybe they were. Maybe they were and I'm just misremembering. That's pretty easy to happen because the old memory's not what it was. Anyhow, we'll move on. Now, we did have, of course, the Blossom map assets come through. Now, Swally, you managed, you were saying before we got kicked off this afternoon that you went bonkers on gobbling up some of these?
I had a little bit of luck, I guess. I picked up a few during the sale, so obviously it was gated by the USD sale, so that restricted the number of people trying to buy it. So I don't know how hard it was for other people. I stayed up for it because I wanted to have a crack at it. And that robot one, I got the first mint of, which I didn't realise until well afterwards. I'm like, cool.
I did see that you posted that on Twitter, didn't you?
Yeah. So I don't know whether it'll, if someone's out there that's collecting the first mints, like I'm open to suggestions, open to offers, but I managed to, I ended up having two, I ended up getting most of the 6 different unique ones and was able to make a purchase to build out the whole collection, so now I've got all 6 sitting there. So I don't know, it's probably a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of, I don't know why I did that, but when's the last time we had
Well, it worked out well.
when's the last time we had an UpX sale? So I was like, yeah, why not?
Oh, nice. Yeah, there was kind of 2 roadblocks there, wasn't there? Well, there was the one major one was that you had to have purchased one of the ornament bundles. And then you had to go at it for the 10k UpX. Yeah. So yeah, pretty good. But mint number 1, that's definitely something not to
First time I've
sneeze about.
Yeah, it's the first time I got a decent mint number. Not that I really understand the FOMO or the excitement about getting mint number one. Like, to me, it's like they're all the same. They all look the same on the map.
Some people are all about it, so you might get a nice juicy sale there. You never know.
Yeah, I'm not too
All
stressed.
right. So the other big news, of course, when did this drop? Was that this morning? Yesterday. No, this morning, yeah. Woke up to this new property bundles, legacy properties. Now, Swally, did you want to speak to what you showed me in DMs? What was that, a couple of days ago or yesterday?
I've noticed it over the last week or two. There's a crap load of properties in Flushing's Queen that have all been locked up, which is definitely new. Like, I don't pay that much attention to it, but it was definitely new. And I was like, what's going on here? And I literally only sent that to you the other day going, there's something going on.
Yeah.
You suggested maybe Billman could look at the back end and see if he could figure it out. But needless to say, he has to wait a few hours when we get this update as to what's going on. So no doubt that if you get some Queens properties, they're going to be in Flushing, which, to be fair, are all, sort of 20,000 UPX and up from there. So they're not crap properties, but they're not ones that people have gone and minted either. There's blocks and blocks and blocks of unminted properties in the area that they've locked them all in.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Like, they're trying to do everything they can to get rid of some of those old properties that haven't been gobbled up. I kind of said, maybe this is a sign that they realise that they've released too many properties at once, or they've realised that some of the mint prices on these were just way too high. What are they actually trying to achieve with this? It's a bit of a strange one, because if you dive into the details, they're going to be available in the extra tab, as an ongoing continuous thing, available for USD and Ethereum. And what have we got? There's a 0.01 Ethereum, 750 of those, 0.04, 0.14. Man, you've got $38, $120, $460 premium bundle. What do you get for that? You get 3 discounted legacy properties, 50% chance of one of those being a collection property, and a chance at one of 2 landmarks. And interesting, the landmarks. So, I don't know. All of these sorts of things seem to sit there for a while, but they do sell out. They do get gobbled up by people that's all about that FOMO, or all about the gambling. What does it say here? Yep, go ahead.
So it seems to me like you're effectively just selling raffle tickets for a landmark property. All it really is.
Yep. Yeah, because if you...
The first time, the difference is they don't give you the UPX to mint them for yourself, because this was used to get UPX to use them for some other things. They invented this new technology to drop these assets to your account straight away.
Direct to you. Yep.
There's no UPX involved in all this stuff from this.
Yes, you can't take the UPX gamble, can you? Yeah. Yes, what's kind of stuck out to myself and many others is, for the ultimate Upland player, this bundle includes 3 properties, a 50% chance... No, where is it though? Where does it say the price? Maybe that was at the start. Where does it mention that they're going to be 50%? Here we go. Bundles are being offered at an average discount of 50% off the mint price. So it does say average, so it could be lower than that, higher than that. I do know somebody asked what's the standard deviation on that, and they weren't going to say, they weren't going to put that number out there. So yes, some of these is going to be a real gamble. So why do I say it's going to be a real gamble? Well, we always have a look at the city floors in the USD, and if we have a look at old mate here, I don't see any problem with this. The current floor percentage in Beverly Hills is 78%, so if you take the gamble there and you manage to get one of those, you're doing pretty well. You probably get ahead. All of the rest of them, Dallas, Kansas, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Nashville, Queens, Rio, if you just wanted to get properties for the sake of getting properties there, if you're filling out a treasure hunt map, well, I would suggest possibly that you'd be far better off to just go and pick and choose where you wanted properties and probably end up way further ahead. Why take the risk on a 50% average when you can go over to Nashville and just buy them right now, wherever you want, pick and choose where you want to go, and in Queens for 31%? What am I missing here?
And to be fair, Beverly Hills is not yet fully released, so once that is, that'll drop down in line with the rest of them anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Lily, Bueller Man, kinda. Am I missing something here? It's
all
just
about this. Hey, you can get a landmark, or you have a chance to
the
get a
raffle
selected
ticket.
property.
Yeah,
It's only this gambling, and for the people who don't do tables like this that you show here. No? So if someone doesn't care about the current floor percentages, you just see, hey, 50%, I get the property for half the price, and they go buying.
Yeah, I'm guessing Upland doesn't really want anybody to see those numbers.
yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, what are they? What's the underlying goal with this? Is the goal is to reduce the amount of available properties? Well, I thought we were pushing to make sure that we had available properties in as many different places as we can.
Has to be cash inflow, surely.
Hey,
Yeah,
we are
it's-
great. We just minted out this in this neighborhood, and it's all sounds good if you do it on a big stage in Genesis Week. You can say, hey, this and that happened, and we dropped several hundreds of collection properties through our sales, and bigger, better, greater, and all this.
Yeah, I guess they're probably between a rock and a hard place. Like, if they came out and said, hey, you're going to be able to get these bundle properties at 25% if they went crazy, well, what does that say about the market economies? So they have to pick an average number somewhere. I guess 50 is a safe bet. It's just, the whole thing just seems very strange to me.
The thing is that most of us were around when these cities released, like most of us older players. If we wanted
Yep.
them, we would have got them back then.
Yep.
And then the newer players, maybe they don't know about the fact that there's still mintable stuff there, but they'll get around to it if they want it. But I don't get why they're selling them in USD when they can't compete with the floor at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is it a cash flow thing? Do they need? Is this just another way that they can get cash in to keep the lights on in the office? They are a business; they have to stay afloat. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. It's just quite bizarre.
You gotta have
yeah,
better
because-
pricing.
Properties were not released yet, so some
Yeah.
of the stock properties, or maybe you can take a shot now. Maybe in the future, eventually, we will get some sales of this jail players properties or deleted accounts.
Come back online.
That would be cool to see, because there are some cities where ghost towns, because all these players leave or are jailed and they don't come back. But these are
But if
unlimited,
they
so you
want the
one,
older
just go on in.
players, if they want the older players to buy them, they have to make the incentive of rarer properties more worthwhile. You know, the
Yes.
percentage of chance of getting something is so slim. You wouldn't
Yeah.
waste your money.
No, or you put it up for sale at UPX prices and say there's a 50% chance of getting it at the mid price in UPX. But, it's... I wonder too, everything, apart from that map asset sale that we just had, that was UPX, but that was roadblocked by you had to have done a USD sale to take part in that. Everything just seems to be pushing further and further to USD. What was it? Blue Rain, I think, mentioned today, like, when are we going to see the first city release that's USD only? Is that on the cards? What does this all say? That, the more they move away from UPX sales, what does that say about the value of UPX? If you can't buy anything with it aside from, secondary market stuff or city releases or whatever, well, it just seems the value of that's just disappearing.
Yeah, I just went to Nashville on the Sparklet, and for $40 you can get 3 properties under about $40 and under for all at 31% of markup. Yeah, I don't see their rationing. If they moved it to the UPX and you could get a 50% there, then there'd be a deal.
Yeah.
No, but
I agree.
It's bad.
Yeah, but
That's a strange one.
Upix with this sale, because they say, hey, the mint price was 100K, you can buy it for $50. So why should I buy 100K Upix for $100 now? This is ridiculous. And all this, you may get a collection property. Yeah, these collection properties could only be something from Beverly Hills, because if I take a look at Kansas City, okay, there are 100 properties in Shoal Creek, which is the only collection not fully minted out, and there can't be any higher collections because they say it's unminted properties and not locked properties. So maybe they hope that someone gets just straight FOMO'd in and just buy because someone needs collection properties. Maybe I can get one in Kansas City or in another city.
Yeah, I mean,
let's see.
They do sell. Yeah, they do sell. Like all of those Ethereum bundles, they eventually all got eaten up, and there's plenty of us at the time said, I don't really understand that there's any value in that too, but they did sell, so they made plenty of dollaroonies and Ethereum to keep the lights on in the office there. So yeah, maybe there's some method to their madness.
How many players buy with USD or Ethereum? Because if I bought Ethereum at $2 one, I can throw them in such sales and don't worry about what I get. But I won't go and buy Ethereum now to buy one of these bundles, because it's insane amounts of dollars to burn to get something. So maybe they just try to attract more crypto guys with this, because all the hardcore crypto fans mostly started when the prices are not as high as now.
Yeah, might be. As I said, maybe there's some method to the madness somewhere in there, but it's definitely not clear what that is, just based on the raw numbers. If you're just looking at the wider secondary markets and whatnot. Anyhow, we shall move on. Oh, sorry.
Why Upland is doing this?
Yes. Yeah. Very nice. Well, we'll move on. I pegged the main topic for this week's show is, the Uplands just seems to be dishing out Sparklet here, there, everywhere, like massive prizes, 5 Spark here, 5 Spark there, Upland, airdrop campaign, and Upland has also announced that loads more free Sparklet will be dropped at Genesis Week. As I said, that's great news for participants, but what's going to be the effects of all this free Spark that's getting dished out? So if you didn't see it, it wasn't an official announcement. It was, I believe, it was shared in the Discord. So Lisette here yesterday at 5:41 a.m. my time, announcing in-person airdrop Chapter G, must mean for Genesis Week. This just in, exclusively during Genesis Live in Las Vegas, participants who attend in person will have a chance to claim between 1 and 5 Spark, which equates to 1,000 to 5,000 Sparklets during the community event of the year. So what that says to me is that every single person who attends is guaranteed to get at least 1 Spark, which is $460 worth of value. I believe that's the going rate, isn't it? If you happen to buy one of them. So
yeah, it's for
that's pretty insane.
Need activities to get this at least 1 Spark. Makes sense. It's not guaranteed that you get one.
Oh, that does say a chance. Yeah. Okay. So it does say a chance.
Next sentence, you have to complete activities, and then you will receive at least 1 Spark. But nobody knows the activities.
Yeah, maybe there's going to be a spanner in the works, like
from it or something like this. Huh?
Yeah, well, go down onto the gambling floor and get somebody to sign up on a referral bonus. There might be some crazy, silly one in there. Who would know? Yeah, that's definitely interesting. But as I said, there's more and more Spark getting shared out there. Eventually, Sparklet is going to hit an exchange, which opens up the pathway for the sale or the transfer of Spark into Sparklet. Both inwards and outwards bound. If you've had anything to do with airdrop campaigns or ICOs from the crypto days, you know what happens to tokens once they eventually release on an exchange, especially if people have been given bags and bags and bags of free stuff. They tend to be held with very papery hands, those ones. So, yes, we have to get the word out there. We need more widespread exposure, but I don't know, it seems a bit scary to me as somebody that was heavily involved in the ICO days in 2017, 2018 and a little bit of 2019. More free Spark and Sparklets out there sounds good, but I just wonder what the impact of this is all going to be. Anybody want to chime in? Obviously, we're not allowed to speculate on prices or anything like that, but what's the vibe? Free Spark for everyone? Yippee!
No, I paid for a few of my Sparks, and I don't want to get them devalued more, because even if there are only 100 or 200 people attending Genesis Week in live, and they all get the 5 Spark, that's only 1,000 Spark. That's not as much as the big A has, but there's Spark here, Spark there, Spark everywhere, and Sparklet, and you get in here. Also, I think it may impact the in-game Spark economy, but a new token on an exchange, it will be a pump and dump like every other token which is released somewhere. First, everyone will get rid of it to get something at a lower price, or there are some people who are speculating and pumping money in to get one. So it will be interesting to see where the price ends after the first few initial days on the exchanges, and we see first floor building if it's higher or lower than this $460 per Spark as the old sales were.
Yeah, Swally and I were kind of discussing this in DMs this afternoon. I've got a bit over 30 Spark. I've pretty much mentally committed to, depending on what exchange it ends up on or what exchanges it ends up on. If this ends up on some obscure exchange that I don't already have an account on, I might just skip the whole thing entirely and just watch from a distance. But if this ends up on a half-decent exchange, especially if I already have an account on it, I'm at least mentally preparing to move over 10 Spark and just play the game, see what the price is at, potentially sell that, hold a percentage of that to wait for a cheaper buy-in, or if the price sustains itself, pull some more out, transfer it to AUD. Bit of an extra party there. I just don't know, but it's going to be hella interesting. Just paper hands versus diamond hands.
Which exchange they will take as a partner, and I hope it will not be one where you're only able to register or work with if you're an American in United States of America. So and not something international, because there are I was registered at some exchanges which then said, okay, regulatory, we can only sell or work with US citizens, so hey, bye.
On the flip side, they can say no US citizens as well sometimes, so I doubt that'd be the case though. Because they are so USA focused.
Yeah, but I hope they are not too USA focused in this.
Yes, yeah.
But
I don't know. Lily Swally, kinda.
So many 5s in the last weeks. 5 Sparklet here, 5,000 there, 5 properties there. Is there something with
555,555 USD sales? Yes.
5,555 totems, but hey, they are dead. Since 104 days, there was a counter in the Discord channel from someone who just posted every day how many days since the last announcement.
Totem fee.
But there are many fives in five for the Air Street collection. Maybe. Okay, I stop here. It is something or nothing.
Yes, could be.
Coming from someone that's not bought any of his Spark except for 0.1, which was my very first bit when I first started, I can't be too critical of people getting free Spark, so I'm not going to bitch and carry on. I mean, I do note that, again, international players are alienated from this, so it's certainly not worth our while to buy a ticket and fly over there for 15 grand to hope to get one Spark.
Yep.
But what happened to all this utility that we've been screaming out for Spark? We had these unique buildings, and that's tied up a little bit of Spark with people, putting these up and then taking a while to try and build. So, but I know there's been a hint that the car Spark's coming soon, but seriously, how much is that really going to use up? Because, how often do people really drive somewhere? I think the vast majority of us don't really drive too far. I had to go to Las Vegas during the week, and there's no way I'm sitting in a car for 12 hours or something like that when I can just fly there in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So bottom line, it comes back to there's not enough utility yet for Spark. I've mentioned what I think about the structural ornament competition, how that's, to me, is a joke, and it needs to be revamped and put more credit to an apartment being worth way more points than a micro house, and then the collections themselves being worth more points. So, there's a whole chart you could have. An apartment on a ultra rare collection should be worth 10, 20 times the amount of points that a micro house on a blue collection's worth. But anyway, that's just a whole nother argument.
Yeah, but then you will. Then you have the older players or the greater accounts get much more points in this list than some new account, because if they say you need any building on any collection property, you can take a micro house on a standard collection, which you don't need to invest thousands of dollars for it.
They're separated into ranks anyway, so CE is not up against an Uplander. But again, my bottom line of the argument is there's not enough utility for Spark at this stage. We're giving it away. We're not giving it away, but they've been giving it away, and they're going to give away a whole bunch for Genesis Week, and happy days. I'm not against that. I'm a bit salty that I can't get any myself, but that's such is life. But what are they doing to create the demand for it?
And that comes back around to NFT royalties. Like, where's the utility? Well, how is the platform going to attract people to get involved with layer 2s and more stuff if there is no NFT royalty system, or if that's still years and years away? Who would know? It's kind of seems to be almost a vicious cycle. Get the NFT royalties in there, get out there, promote the hell out of that. Come and be a UGC content creator, get your NFT royalties, and then that bleeds on to create at least a bit more utility for everything that's got going on. It definitely won't hurt it, put it that way. So yes, perhaps a bit concerning, depending on how you want to look at it, if you're a glass half full or a glass half empty, or if you like gambling or if you don't. All right, we'll move on. This week we've got a couple of quips, questions, insights, provocations and statements to dive into. There is a link to a Google form in the description. Thank you to 6week6 and Hugh Yang, who sent through a couple for this week. There's another couple there that have come through that we'll probably touch on next week. There is some more room there to get some in. So if you want to get a submission in and we use it on the show, if you include your in-game name, you'll win yourself some kind of prize. So we're going to start off this week with a question from 6week6, who asks, factories and showrooms are typically built side by side or relatively close to one another. Why? And he goes on to ask, are there recommendations on how large of a plot of land you'd need according to the size of the factory or showroom that you want to build? Is there a guide for this? And then he says, P.S. I'm sorry I don't catch your show live more often. It's like 3:30 a.m. in the morning for me. Yes, I know all about 3:30 a.m. start. So a couple of questions to dive into there. Factories and showrooms typically built side by side. Why? Well, I can tell you why. It's
so
go ahead.
One reason will be when transport becomes a thing.
Yep.
Having a
Bingo.
right next to the showroom could be a massive advantage.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty much the take on it. That's the answer right there. What we're looking at here is this is in LA. I've got a Summer Aquatics factory here that I haven't applied for yet because I haven't really put any new items in to be submitted. And then just across the road, basically, there's the Summer Aquatics showroom. If you look here, D-Tech's got the same factory right next to his ornament showroom, and then there's another one here, Map Assets, and also his cars as well, or his, what do they call them? Go-karts. So that's the reason why. We're thinking ahead to, basically, you just want to reduce your transportation costs. There's other reasons as well. Some people do it because it's within a node area or it's their special neighborhood that they're filling out, etc. But yeah, that's the gist of it. It's thinking ahead and trying to, assist future you not to have to spend too much on transportation costs. So the other question that was in there, are there any recommendations on how large of a plot of land you need according to the size of the factory? There's not really any guidelines, and it depends on what you're manufacturing, and it also depends on how much time you have. And it probably largely depends on that transportation system coming through as well, because, currently, if we go back over to San Francisco, so in San Francisco, the Summer Aquatics factory is way down here at the bottom in a obscure little neighborhood. Now, I believe this is almost 3,000 up squared property? Yeah, 3,365 up squared property at the bottom of San Francisco. That's where I manufacture the assets, and then I got to go all the way to Midtown Terrace, which is halfway in the map, and move everything to the showroom there at 30 Aqua Vista Way. Now, obviously, because there's quite a distance there, once transportation mechanics kick in, we don't know how much of a logistical hassle that's going to be, what the costs are going to be involved. So currently it's a manually move it one by one process. So yeah, as far as sizes goes, it's kind of up to you, really. You can get away with a small showroom on about depending on the shape, I think the lowest I've gone is just under 400 up squares, so you can get away with it there. Factories is very much dependent on the size of the factory, which is dependent on how much spark you have. It also depends on what you want to build and how much time you have available. If you're somebody who can keep up with your factory production and you're fine to spend hours and hours every week manually moving things over, then you could get away with a much smaller factory than if you don't have a lot of free time and you want to build up some inventory on your lot. The more space, the better. So, yeah, it's probably the best thing you can do is have a direct chat with somebody who's involved in UGC. You can send me a DM or any of the other UGC content creators. I'm sure they'll be able to help you out too. Have a chat with them, let them know what you're planning to do, and we'd be able to at least give you some kind of recommendations on what to look out for. But yeah, as far as official guides, no, not really. So yes, thank you for that, 6 week 6. And we've got another one from Hugh Yang. As I said, he says, "Hi Ben, first of all, congrats on Midtown Terrace being top of the leaderboard for last month. On that note, here's a question. Would you consider starting a new node in the near future? If yes, what would you do differently this time? Also, what would make it a good node if one was about to initiate a new one, e.g. neighbourhood size, property numbers, percentage of FSA props, numbers and percentage of large properties, medium price, location in the city and country, etc. Thanks and cheers." Am I going to consider a new node in the near future? Oh, hell no. No, I ain't doing a new node anytime soon. Basically, just going to slowly keep plugging away at what I've got going on in Midtown Terrace. However, if I was going to do a new one, which there's plenty of people out there are initiating new nodes, what should you look out for? Neighbourhood size is a big factor. You might want a small neighbourhood that you can dominate, and you can mint as many as you can. You can fill it out and get the percentage up there as fast as possible. Or you might want a really big, massive one, so it gives the wider community lots of time, lots of opportunities to get involved. Percentage of FSA properties, there's pros and cons to that. If you want a smaller neighbourhood to do your own thing, obviously you want to reduce the amount of those as much as possible, or work with the FSA agents if those are still a thing to get those gobbled up. But if you want to have a larger neighbourhood that's more open to the wider community, well, maybe a large percentage of FSA properties is a good thing to get, fresh blood, fresh people, new players involved. The numbers of properties, again, it goes back to the same sort of thing, a mix of large properties, all the factor, same with the mint price as well. Back in the day, like when the whole situation with Midtown Terrace, Merced Manor, Dog Patch, Alamo Square, a lot of those early neighbourhood development projects or node projects, we kind of established that and got that all up and running before we had any idea whatsoever what neighbourhood ratings was going to be about. Of course, we've had so many other developments since then. Where is Midtown Terrace the perfect area for a neighbourhood development project or a node? Absolutely not, because there's no large properties there whatsoever. So you can't put factories up, you can't put showrooms up. I was very lucky to get that one showroom up. You're very limited in what you can do with so many small properties. But then on the flip side, places like Portage Park, it's a massive neighbourhood. They have an excellent mix of large properties, small properties, but they're too big and they've got no chance whatsoever in the neighbourhood ratings. So, I mean, it just all comes down to what you want to do, basically. If I was to start a new node project now, I'd probably be looking for a neighbourhood in the range of maybe 600, 700 properties, something similar to Midtown Terrace perhaps, but I'd definitely be looking for an area that had a much better mix or size range of properties. You want big properties, you want small ones, you want a good mix. Location's always important, but not really. I mean, there's plenty of people doing cool stuff in different areas. There's really good node projects in Bakersfield and all over the bloody place, so it just depends what you want to do. But new node project coming from me anytime soon? No, not a chance. If anything, I'm kind of moving back into lone wolf status and just kind of looking after my own account. That would be my rant on that one. Anyhow, thank you very much for that, 6 Week 6 and Hugh Yang. You both earned yourself 10,000 UPX after fees. And remember that if you submit a quiz, please put in your in-game name so that I can get you a prize. Right, moving on. In this week's Getting to Know Community Members segment, care of Mesby and the Dynamic Node Builders team, they're featuring Robzilla999, who is currently a director with a net worth just over 5 million UPX. She's got 205 properties and over 5 Spark. Her home residence is in the Bellerose neighbourhood of Queens, which, if you don't know, is the Creedmoor Horror Hub area. So we'll have a quick squiz, have a look at what Robzilla's got going on. There's something interesting going on in here with her data. So we're looking at her progress chart, care of upxland.me. If you just look at her number of properties, fairly stable there, gradually goes up and then slowly starting to whittle it down. Had a high of 273 and currently back down on the 205 range. But if you look at the properties net worth, it was kind of, well, the mid net worth, no, let me get rid of that one, goodbye. So it was quite, she got up to, I'll just look at mid. We'll get rid of that one for easy. So mid net worth, she almost got to executive status, 9,618,000 and change, but then a big massive drop down to under 5 million, and then slowly dropped away. When was that? 2020, start of last year. So since the start of the last year, kind of flat or slowly going down. So interesting. Be interesting to see what's happened there. Anyhow, let's have a look at her responses to the survey. So in-game name, Robzilla, 999, as I said, Uplander since January 2022, been to Vegas, yes. Most common internet search history, random symptoms and illnesses. Superpower, intuition, one thing you will never do again. Take candy from Thank Me Later. Ooh, it's coming up to that time again. Las Vegas people, watch out for Thank Me Later and his vicious candies and his sandwiches and all the rest of it. Bucket list, Vegas Part 2. Pet peeve, knuckle cracking, tattoos no. Celebrity you know the most about, Keanu Reeves. That's spelt wrong. Guilty pleasure, Bravo, reality TV. Famous facts about where you live. There's a Billy Joel song about it. And 3 Uplanders you chat with regularly, Big Dollars, Shaq Dylan, and the one and only Umbrella Boy. Good on you, Robzilla, and thank you to Mesme and the rest of the dynamic node builders. If you would like to get yourself involved in what they've got going on over there, or if you want to know about a bit more about somebody who could get involved, then send Mesme or any of the other dynamic node builders members a DM. Click the link to the D&D. I never fix this up in my notes. I've got D&D Discord server. It's the DNB Discord server. It's in the description. As I keep saying, say good day and tell them the Upland Down Under podcast sent you. All right, that brings us to everyone's favourite part of the show, which is prize giveaways. If you didn't see, I have started, just for shits and giggles and for my own interests, I have started I have started a prize tally, so I'm keeping track of how much we've given away so far this year. We're only in April, and so far in 2024, we've given away, including tonight, just under 500,000 UPX and 27 map assets. So plenty of chances to get involved and get your hot little hands on some UPX. So last week's challenge was to get yourself in the contest channel within the NBA server. Drop a link to your Twitter or your X profile and let us know your current Sparklet airdrop details. Yada, yada, yada. And of course, if you weren't taking part, let us know that as well. Your name is going to roll on a list of all entrants for a chance to win 10,000 UPX after fees. And of course, get yourself another entry into the 2024 end of year prize giveaway draws. We have started to do a bonus prize, 5,000 UPX as well, because this was kind of a cut and dry sort of a challenge last week. I'm not going to go and pick my favorite Twitter profile account or whatever, so I'm just going to spin the wheel twice this week. The first spin will be for the 10,000 UPX. I'll pluck out that name and I'll spin it again for the 5,000. So if you got involved in last week's challenge, well, you got yourself 2 chances to win a prize this week. So where is the prize? There we go. All right, first spin of the wheel. 10,000 big ones goes to a name I'm never going to be able to say. Cats. That's a mouthful. Cats. I better write that down because I won't remember it properly. All right, congratulations to you. What is it, sorry?
Kafka is an author of, and Katze is cat in German. So maybe.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very much, Bill, man.
Oh,
so we've
Kaft Cascades, Lily.
Okay. It's something. Whatever it is, because you put your in-game name in there, I can definitely get you the 10,000. So thank you very much for being involved. We're going to spin it again. So this one's going to be for 5,000. And the 5,000 goes to Levan. Angry's pulled it off. Angry Ursia. Alright, congrats, Angry Ursia. Now that brings us to the live giveaways, and I did write these down as we're going tonight. So we've got Levan, Maui, forgive my spelling, Lily, Smiley Man, Kinda, Beulah Man, and King I don't think we had anybody else jump in, did we? Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so this is going to be for your choice. I'll go Samurai Aquatics. What have we got? Love Heart Jacuzzi or a Garden Bridge? Goes to Laban. Congratulations, Laban. All right, now I get the feeling I'm forgetting something. Well, I'm forgetting a couple of things, but we'll get there. So that was last week's challenge. Now, this week's challenge, pay attention to this one because there's more than meets the eye, as Transformers say. So get yourself in the contest channel within the NBA server again. Let us know what you think the economic and or community effects are going to be of Upland flooding the community with free Sparklets when it becomes available for trading on the crypto exchanges. A reminder that specific price speculation of any form is forbidden by Upland, which you must also adhere to in your entry. So I don't get myself in trouble. If there's any price speculation in your post, I'll just jank it, I'll just delete it. So that would be a shame. So yeah, you can talk in generalities, you know, pump and dump and all the rest of it, but just don't mention any specific prices. So what do you think is going to happen? Prizes, your name's going to roll on a list of all entrants for a chance to win 10,000 UpX after fees. And, of course, get yourself another entry in the 2024 end-of-year giveaway prize draws. But that's not all. Thanks to Kushal089, as I said at the start of the show, and his map asset metaventure called Rustic Arts, situated at 7754 Jellico Avenue in Los Angeles. All entries for this week's weekly challenge will also go in the running to win one of 5 Rustic Well map assets that we'll be giving away in next week's show. But again, that's not all. Over to you, Swali. What do we got going on next week in next week's show with you?
All right. Well, next Thursday is the closest Thursday it is to my 2-year anniversary. So we started it last week with my giveaway. So we'll be giving away a South Lake Tahoe property that's got a limited or unique, was it small townhouse built? I can't remember the exact name of it, which is that picture there. And it also comes with a node on it. It's for Tycoon. So it's got 2 nodes. One's locked and then there'll be one random node built. I've actually got about 9 or 10 of these, which I'll put up for sale soon too, but I'll spin the wheel to see which one I give away. So obviously they vary in price a little bit. And then obviously there's 2 Spark giveaways. So second place will get 20 Spark for a week and third place will get 10. Now, a lot of people have been commenting already this week. So I think it's about 70 odd entries already. Not everyone's been putting an address in there, but that's cool. So long as you've got your in-game name there, I can add you to the list and then I can work it out. The only catch there is if you message me the address or you haven't started a build or something like that, you're just missing out on time that I might be able to stake the Spark. So if you've already got one going and you've given me the address and I've got that straight away, I'll do it during the show. So yeah, I mean, I'd love to see this get over 100. There's a lot of names that I do know that haven't entered yet, so hopefully a few more can enter in the next week. So that'll be drawn in the next week's show. That's about it, really, I think.
Awesome. So yes, the link for that will be in the description as well. Assuming that I remember to do it, I should do. Yes, so make sure you get involved. Lots of chances to win UPX and all sorts of stuff.
Sorry, so that is on my Twitter. So all you can do is search Swally129 on Twitter. It's my pinned post. It comes up. Just put a retweet, and put a comment in the in-game name, and we'll do the rest from there.
The usual stuff. All right, we've had quite a bit of a ranty week this week. As I said, there was a lot to discuss, a lot to think about, a lot to keep track of and see how it's all going to play out. And a reminder that if you are in a time zone that fits in with the Thursday night recording schedule of starting at 7 p.m. AEST and you'd like to get yourself involved, the link to the weekly live podcast is always dropped in the NBA server about 15 minutes before the show starts. That invitation extends to any of the channel's podcast productions. So if you have an Upland NFT or Metaverse product, service, or event to promote, and send me, Ben68, a DM, or get yourself in the NBA server, which is linked in the description. And don't forget to check out old mate Kushal089's map asset metaventure called Rustic Arts, which is situated at 7754 Jellico Ave in LA. and give him a follow on X at Mr. Kushel089 so you can stay up to speed with everything happening at Rustic Arts. That's all we got. All the best for the week, and we'll catch you later.